Hello everyone. After the publication of the royalty series, many people ask me why the files and worksheet information are deleted after merging files. This information can be used to check for missing data. Of course, there is an option to retain in the process. There are even some steps. If you are willing to spend more time remembering commands or parameters, it can be more convenient. Part of Class 1. All file headers are the same. When reading in the example, you can set the header of the original file to be read in. It's just that the Excel default is to set the header additionally, perhaps to avoid errors in the headers of different files. Change the parameter of Excel.Workbook to true, and when you return to the table, you will see that the original table header is read in. Reading into the original header also reduces many steps. Just expand this nested table and you're done. Both the source file name and the worksheet name are preserved. Check the results of the aggregation. You can delete the redundant columns. The only thing that creates problems is the column names. Notice that when reading the material, the sheet name is name, and the song name is also name. If the default name is duplicated with the name in the nested table, it must be adjusted before expanding. In Class 2, the focus is on the conversion header. It's like it's shown in the screen. Some platforms offer more data, and we keep it, so that the number of report columns is different for each platform. If there are new columns, they should be displayed rather than disappeared. The content of the comparison table will be adjusted later. The focus of this course is on dealing with unspecified field format files. Use the Table.combine command instead of using Table.expand table column. The difference between these two commands is that Table.combine can merge table contents without caring about the order and content of the file columns. In this way, you must include the file or worksheet information in nested tables. Go back to the steps before the Table.combine command. Add a custom column. Here it will prompt that inserting a step will cause subsequent effects. Select Insert first. Enter add file name for the column name. The custom column formula uses Table.AddColumn. This command is very common. Add a custom column is to use this command. It's just that we're going to use it in a nested table now. Table in table. The first parameter selects rename. This is the column that has modified the table header. The second parameter is file name. Remember to add quote to indicate that it is text. Pay attention. The custom column name above refers to the column name of this table. The text entered is the column name to be added to the nested table. Don't get confused. For the third parameter, enter each name. Indicates that this column is filled with the contents of the name. After pressing OK, you can see that add file name has appeared. Check the content and see a full of errors. Click Table to see the error message. Here's the last step to be removed. Avoid having to jump out of the Insert step prompt all the time. The error message shows that the record of name cannot be found. You think, there is this column? In fact, it refers to the fact that the name column cannot be found in the nested table. Because nested tables cannot find the data on the previous level, it is like one container in another. Cannot use the normal filling method. Review Table.AddColumn. Its third parameter turns out to use function. What function to insert? Use parentheses, equal, greater than represent the function, which is used instead of each. You can fill in any letter or string in parentheses. Fill in A with a here. This is followed by name. There is an extra close parenthesis. In this way, you can see that the nested table in add file name already contains the file name. Changing the parameter in quote to Q will also work correctly. You can include the sheet name in this column as well. A command can only add one column, so add content by and. Open bracket name close bracket and underscore open bracket name dot one close bracket. It is possible to render the file name and the worksheet name connected by a underscore. But I'd like to show the sheet name in another column. If you want to make a comparison over the same period, you don't need to do it all over again. Here the step name is modified to match the name of the step. If modifications are required in the future, it is clear to know where to modify them. Similarly, add a custom column. Enter sheet name for the column name. Use Table.AddColumn to add sheet names to nested tables. You can see two sheet name in the screen. These two sheet name do not conflict. It is divided into two different tables, not to be confused. In this way, the file and worksheet names have been added to the nested table. The next step is to merge all the nested tables. Select the sheet name column, right-click, and select Drill Down. And directly enter Table.Combine. The combined table is rendered. Press close and load. The data we want is done. If you want these two columns to be at the first of the table, these two columns can be moved to columns A and B. But after updating the data, you need to move it again. You should go back to Power Query. Select both columns to move them to the front. Close and load again.